Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
The moral of this story is beggars can't be choosers. Now, I don't know why I decided to start the video off with the moral of the story, but Khabib Nurmagomedov's manager is saying that he deserves at least $10 million for a Conor McGregor fight. And now, I actually might agree with that. You know, that's cool. But this is what I'll say. I don't want to see them price themselves out of the game when we're all looking forward to this fight. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as does Khabib deserve $10 million in a Conor McGregor fight? Well, yeah, if you're talking about, you know, a $100 million fight, that's not even asking a lot, you know, and that's something that he's talking about. And but in the same token, I feel like a lot of fighters probably deserve a lot more money. You know, if you're talking about different sports, and I realize the UFC is one of the newer sports, and especially with the ratings as of late, it's kind of really hard to price how much fighters should be paid. But I think we all can agree that fighters deserve more. I mean, whether it's a percentage of the not even pay-per-view, but whether it's a percentage of the TV deal or just whatever, I think we all can agree that. So yeah, if you're going to be fighting in a huge fight, maybe 10 million is not asking too much. Now, with that being said, it looks like we are entering negotiations for Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, which is supposed to be taking place toward the end of this year. And I want to say that we don't want to see him price himself out of the game, and beggars can't be choosers, because if you guys recall, Khabib Nurmagomedov was saying that he was going to make Conor McGregor humble, so he wasn't even really, you know, waiting on the Conor McGregor fight necessarily. He was saying if Conor McGregor don't get his shit together and get ready to fight, then I'll fight Dustin Poirier. If Tony Ferguson's healthy, I'll fight him. I'm looking to be the champion. And one of the ways he was going to make Conor McGregor was humble was actually to make him wait for the title shot. Now, Conor McGregor, you know, asked for an ass whooping whenever he came to the Barclays and threw a dolly at the bus, and that kind of made Khabib Nurmagomedov change his mind a little bit. Like, okay, now I'm a champion. You want to come back and fight, it seems like, too. You just did all of this crazy talk. Let's handle this in the octagon. So we're all ready for the fight now. And so I would just hate as a fan to see that this fight gets stalled up any longer if Khabib Nurmagomedov is asking for too much money. Now, how much is too much money? We don't know, but we don't know how much this fight's supposed to make. Do you guys think that Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to bring in more viewers than Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather? I don't know. That would be crazy if an MMA fight was able to do bigger numbers than one of the biggest boxing fights of all time. That would be huge for the sport. I would love to see that. But it's kind of hard to fathom an MMA fight doing those type of numbers, breaking those boxing records. So, is Conor McGregor going to make $100 million in this fight? Who knows? It is going to be one of the biggest fights. It's going to be the biggest fight in UFC history, but we still don't know how big that's going to be. But either way, it looks like Khabib definitely has a great manager, and if you know anything about Ali Abdelaziz, he is one. I mean, he has some of the best clients in the sport. They get title shots. A lot of his clients get a lot of title shots. I mean, I believe he might be Henry Cejudo's manager, Cody Garbrandt. Like, he's got some big clients, and you see these guys getting title shots and getting what they deserve a lot of the time. So, with that being said, now what he's saying is definitely not far off. This is what he had to say. I'm not a greedy guy. Go ahead and make $100 million. If Khabib can make $10 million, I'm happy. At the end of the day, it's just not somebody I manage. It's my little brother too. It's not, I'm going to fight for him, I'm going to get you this deal. It's what he deserves. I don't want anything extra than what he deserves. That's it. I believe he's one of the biggest stars in the UFC today. And that's a fact. I mean, it's hard for a lot of people to picture his stardom in Russia. You know what I'm saying? Because unless you know somebody that goes to Russia or frequents Russia. But they say he's like the Michael Jordan over there, and even not in Russia, everyone in the UFC knows who he is, and he even crossed over into the whole world. I mean, I think everybody knows who Khabib Khabib is at this point, especially after that whole Barclays attack and Conor McGregor being arrested and some of his most recent performances. Khabib fought at UFC 219, UFC 223 when he became the undisputed champion. So Khabib's definitely one of the biggest stars of the sport, but $10 million is a lot of money to be making or to be asking for. You know, when you think about what other fighters make, that's a whole lot of money. Now, one of the things he said when asking for this 10 million or talking about this 10 million, of course, is if Conor's going to make 100 million. That's not a lot. That's only like 10%, right? It doesn't seem like he's pricing himself out the game. But he's not going to let Khabib Nurmagomedov get ripped off either. You know, if he feels like this fight is going to make a certain amount of money, he's not going to let Khabib get ripped off just because they know that Khabib wants this fight, which is good if you're a Khabib fan to know that he's got his back. But as a regular fan, you're like, yo, I hope that these negotiations don't start to stall out this fight, because not only does Khabib have to get what he feels like he's worth with his manager doing this negotiating, but we got to think about Conor McGregor's negotiations. How much does he want for this fight? Is he still talking about a piece of the pie? So with that being said, I believe that we'll be able to get a deal done by the end of the year, but now it's time for negotiations, and that's what it's starting to look like. Before, we were waiting on Conor McGregor's court date. Now that that's out of the way, it looks like we're starting to get into negotiation stages. So with that being said, this is the fight everyone wants to see. I hope we can get the deal done. But it looks like Khabib's manager knows their worth, and he's not going to let Khabib get ripped off, you know, by the UFC or by any means. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this fight is happening in October. We got Madison Square Garden in November. That's another possible date. There's 3 possible dates for this fight. Either in October, Las Vegas, Madison Square Garden in November, or Las Vegas in December. Those are the 3 likely dates for this fight. October is the one that it seems like we've been leaning toward, and that's the soonest one possible. But negotiations could for sure push this fight longer, which would suck for us because we're waiting for both these guys to get back to action. Even though Khabib fought at UFC 223, a lot more recent than Conor McGregor, you know what I'm saying? But still, I mean, I don't think any of us want to wait until the end of the year to see this fight. So we'll see what happens. Negotiations have started. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time we upload a new video. This is the hardest working MMA channel on YouTube. We provide daily updates. We do predictions, betting advice, songs, fantasy fights. We create all different types of MMA related content on a daily basis. We've also interviewed Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Bruce Lutch-Medio, and Felony Charles Bennett, all in just 1 year as an MMA channel. We're still small, but we're definitely one of the fastest growing on YouTube. So with that being said, if you want to see even more videos like this, make sure you check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo over on patreon.com. There's more free videos over here, and you can also learn more about where this channel came from and see the goals of this channel as we continue to grow. So with that being said, whether you're a long-time subscriber or just a new person watching this video, I appreciate it. And we recently just got approved as an Onnit affiliate, so we got what you need. Whether you're trying to think clearer, work out harder, or sleep better, check the links in the description for a 100% free trial of Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech Sport, or New Mood. I'm telling you, we got what you need. Links are in the description. See you on the next video.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOG.